Imagine waking up one morning and discovering that the money in your bank account doesn't actually belong to you. Your bank can freeze it, your government can inflate it away, a company can block your payment just because they don't like what you're buying. This isn't a dystopia. This is how money has worked for centuries. But in 2009, a single anonymous person or group released 9 pages that changed everything. No CEO, no headquarters, no phone number to call, just code. This is Bitcoin, and by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly what it is, why it was created, and why millions of people believe it's the most important invention since the internet. Welcome to Chain Decoded. To understand Bitcoin, you first need to understand the problem it was built to fix. Money, at its core, is just a tool for storing and transferring value. For thousands of years, humans used gold and silver because they were scarce, durable, and no one could just make more of it. Then governments stepped in. They said, "Trust us, we'll hold the gold. Here's a paper receipt instead." And slowly, they stopped backing the paper with gold at all. Today, every major currency in the world, the dollar, the euro, the rupee, is what economists call fiat currency. It's money because a government says it's money. The problem? Governments can print as much of it as they want. And someone is always in the middle of every transaction. Your bank, PayPal, Visa. They can reverse payments, freeze accounts, charge fees, and in extreme cases, entire countries have locked citizens out of their own savings. In 2008, the global financial system nearly collapsed. Banks had gambled with ordinary people's money, and when they lost, governments bailed them out using taxpayer funds. That was the final. On October 31st, 2008, a person using the name Satoshi Nakamoto published a document titled Bitcoin, a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. 9 pages, that's all it was. In it, Satoshi described a way to send money directly from one person to another, anywhere in the world, without a bank, without a government, without any trusted middleman at all. The Bitcoin network went live on January 3, 2009, and encoded in the very first block of transactions, what's called the Genesis block, Satoshi left a message. The Times, 03 Jan 2009, Chancellor on brink of second bailout for banks. A newspaper headline, a timestamp, a declaration of intent. Nobody knows who Satoshi Nakamoto really is. He, she, or they disappeared from the internet in 2011, leaving behind an invention worth trillions of dollars and taking nothing. At its most basic level, Bitcoin is digital money, but that description barely scratches the surface. Let's break it down into 3 core ideas. First, Bitcoin is decentralized. There's no Bitcoin headquarters, no CEO. Instead, Bitcoin runs on thousands of computers around the world, called nodes, all simultaneously keeping a copy of the same transaction record. This record is called the blockchain. Think of it like a Google Doc that the entire world can read, but no one can edit or delete. Every transaction ever made with Bitcoin is recorded there, permanently. Second, Bitcoin is scarce. This is crucial. There will only ever be 21 million Bitcoins in existence. That number is hard-coded into the protocol. No one, not a government, not a developer, not even Satoshi himself, can change it. Compare that to the US dollar, where the Federal Reserve printed more money in 2020 alone than in the previous 200 years combined. Scarcity is what gives gold its value. Bitcoin has the same property, except enforced by math instead of mining. Third, Bitcoin is trustless. In traditional finance, trust is required at every step. You trust your bank trusts the central bank, everyone trusts the government. Bitcoin removes trust from the equation entirely. Instead, it uses cryptography and math to verify every transaction automatically. No one needs to trust anyone. The code is the law. Let's say you want to send Bitcoin to a friend across the world. You open your Bitcoin wallet, which is really just an app that holds your cryptographic keys. You enter their wallet address and the amount. You hit send. That transaction is instantly broadcast to the entire Bitcoin network. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Thousands of specialized computers around the world, called miners, are constantly competing to validate that transaction. They bundle your transaction together with thousands of others into a block, and then race to solve an incredibly difficult mathematical puzzle. The first miner to solve it gets to add that block to the blockchain, and as a reward, they receive newly created Bitcoin. This process is called proof of work, and it's the engine that powers Bitcoin's security. Why does the puzzle need to be hard? Because it makes cheating almost impossible. To rewrite even a single past transaction, you'd need to redo the work of thousands of blocks, while the rest of the network is constantly moving forward. The energy cost of an attack makes it economically irrational. Bitcoin is secured not by armies or laws, but by math and electricity. This is the question everyone asks, and the answer is simpler than you think. Bitcoin has value for the same reason gold has value, the same reason diamonds have value, the same reason a rare sneaker sells for 10 times its retail price. Scarcity, utility, belief. Bitcoin is scarce. Only 21 million will ever exist. It's useful. You can send it anywhere in the world in minutes for a fraction of a bank wire fee, and a growing number of people and institutions believe in it. More than 400 million people worldwide now own some Bitcoin. Major companies, including Tesla, MicroStrategy, and BlackRock, hold it on their balance sheets. El Salvador made it legal tender. The United States approved Bitcoin ETFs, opening it up to pension funds and everyday investors through traditional stock accounts. Bitcoin went from being worth zero to reaching an all-time high of over $100,000 per coin. And, unlike fiat currencies, its supply can never be diluted. Now, Bitcoin isn't without criticism, and being honest about that matters. Bitcoin uses enormous amounts of energy. Critics argue this is environmentally irresponsible. Supporters counter that an increasing share comes from renewable sources, and that the global banking system uses far more. Bitcoin is volatile. Its price can drop 80% in a bear market and rise 1,000% in a bull run. It is not yet a stable store of value for everyone. Governments are uneasy. Several countries have tried to ban or restrict it because a currency that operates outside state control is by definition a threat to that control. Whether those are bugs or features depends entirely on your perspective. Bitcoin is not just a technology. It's a response to a broken system, a bet on a world where individuals, not institutions, control their own money. Whether it becomes the global reserve currency of the future or simply a digital gold for the internet age, one thing is certain. The idea that money can exist without governments, without banks, and without permission, that idea is out in the world now, and it cannot be uninvented. This was Chain Decoded. If this video helped you understand Bitcoin for the first time, subscribe, because we're just getting started.